Welcome to the Chicago Golf Report podcast.
Yeah, I've been with working with nonprofits fundraising for 37 years now, and some of the nonprofits over the years have had golf outings. Catholic Charities, certainly, this is their 42nd annual golf outing, which is a big deal. They were doing golf outings around here when a lot of other nonprofits were not, and that's but I I hesitate to refer to golf outings as simply fundraisers. Fundraising events or so-called fundraising events like golf outings are really much more than that. Because when you consider the time it takes to plan one, and the fact that really in the golfing world, among Catholic Charities donors and donors to other nonprofits, you're rather limited. There's a limited number of golfers, and most golfers, if they're not retired, right, are working and have families, and so they can't necessarily be on the golf course every day, and so you have a lot of competition out there. You have nonprofits that are this year, I know there's several I've already heard of in the area that are starting their very first golf outing, um, and they're going to be competing against, our golf outing at Catholic Charities and the golf outings that other nonprofits in the area have had for many years, and so you're getting the word out in the public to try and attract golfers and try to attract sponsors, um, and that could be pretty challenging. And the more golf outings that are added to the mix, the more difficult it is. So the key is, I think, to a successful golf outing is to make sure that the golfers you've had in years past, the sponsors you've had in years past, return, and uh, they also invite their friends. Literally ask the golfers, ask the sponsors who send golfers to invite, in if they're sponsors, invite new employees as golfers. Um, and if they're individual golfers, or they just have foursomes that are golfing with us, uh, ask their golfing friends, both men and women, to put foursomes together of their own and join us with the golf outing, right? And that way they become new relationships, right? That's where I really think the value of golf outings and many other kinds of events uh, are at, is just in the retaining the old relationships while starting new ones and building on those as well.
Yeah, it seems like when you're describing that, building the new ones, asking their own friends, it almost reminds me of social sharing, like social media. Share it with your friends in here. How about this? And in bringing them on, as far as your background, you've done a lot. You've been involved in fundraising for a while. What do you think, as far as, like you said, there's a lot of new golf outings coming online nearby. What do you think is sort of bringing this lift of golf outings, making it more popular? Because like you said, there are limits to it, but why are we seeing, is it just that they're a great way to grow an audience, or is there something else that's making golf outings more popular?
Uh, I think that a lot of nonprofits um, mimic other nonprofits that are successful, and they kind of look at what they're doing, and they try to replicate it. Um, And to some degree, that's a good thing. But I don't think they think about the fact that again, there are many golf outings in during the golfing season, which in Northwest Indiana, Chicago area, right, uh, is spring, summer, and fall, right?
Mhm.
And in spring and summer, or excuse me, spring and fall, the weather can be pretty risky during those times. So many nonprofits avoid golf outings, and try to get them closer to the summertime, where the weather's at least a little bit more dependable. And so the uh, the popularity of golf outings, um, I think, might also have to do with the fact that golfing is a relatively expensive sport. I think once you have the equipment, then you just have to worry about the cost of, greens fees, and all of that goes with it. Having it and um, maybe a golf membership if you belong to a country club, and those can be rather expensive. So you're appealing to people that usually are a higher income level, which is a good thing. That's what every nonprofit wants to also attract those that have the income to be able to give even outside of the golf outing participation, right? Um, but the um, uh, I think another aspect to it is that golf in itself is becoming a more popular sport. I think ever since Tiger Woods entered the scene, and I remember I'm showing my age here, but I remember as a high school kid, um, working in a bowling alley, and as I'm uh, cleaning up the bar area and stuff like that in the bowling alley, watching 60 Minutes on television and seeing Tiger Woods' dad, and he'd been on there a few times as kind of an expose of how this child was being really raised to be a great golfer by his dad who loved golfing, right? And so I think as Tiger Woods came on the scene, it attracted a lot of younger people to golf, women too. I think with that youthfulness, not having the older golfers that were always seen in public and on television and whatnot during the different tournaments. Seeing younger golfers enter the scene, like Tiger Woods and others, uh, not only attracted more younger men to the sport of golf at an earlier age, but women too. And so we're seeing more women golfers as well, and that's a very good thing. So I think not only the the numbers of golfers will be maintained over the years, but we're going to see that grow. I mean, golf is a sport that you don't have to be a hard and true athlete to participate and play well. While there certainly is a skill to the sport and it requires some athletics, you could be a decent golfer. And like me, I'm not a decent golfer, and I'm not very athletic, but I golf with people who are uh, who don't consider themselves athletes, who know the game well enough and have just done it long enough where they're very good golfers. And so I think it invites a lot of other people who maybe are kind of hesitant to participate in other sports where they might not do as well to give golfing a try. And once they see, hey, this is a fairly easy sport to learn. And by gosh, I'm getting better the more I play, so it's attracting and retaining, I think, more golfers.
So knowing that the various different types of golfers, and that's what we attract to at golf outings, can you talk a little bit about the Catholic Charities outing and what the Catholic Charities is trying to do, what have done for so long? What do they do that makes it unique, and how do you try to use your outing as a fundraising vehicle?
Sure, sure. Well, for one thing, our golf outing, our 42nd golf outing, 42nd annual golf outing, which is on Monday, June 10th, 2024, is at Innsbrook Country Club in Merrillville, Indiana. And I've always found Innsbrook to be somewhat unique in Northwest Indiana among golf courses, in that it's a very beautiful golf course and it's very tree covered. A lot of the newer golf courses and even some of the older golf courses, have intentionally, kept their golf course free of tree and foliage, and that's okay. There's plenty of good golf courses that are like that in the area. But what makes Innsbrook Country Club unique, I think, really is the beauty of its trees and its foliage that it has. That I think a lot of golfers really like to see. Um, so I think one of the things that attracts people to our golf outing, not only because Catholic Charities, Diocese of Gary, does great work. I mean, we have several programs. We serve 4 counties in Northwest Indiana. The numbers of people we serve every year, the families, households, keeps growing. The needs keep growing. So not only are golfers seeing that wow, their participation is helping to raise money for really good work to be done, but by golly, Innsbrook golf course is not the typical golf course that you see in Northwest Indiana, and so for particularly some of the newer golfers that we get every year, that's the first time they've ever golfed at Innsbrook. So it's a new experience for them. Now you ask about how we how we raise money, in addition to just the golfing fees and the sponsorships. Golf golf outings, all golf outings typically have kind of add-ons that you get. Um, you could have uh, a, a putting contest that you pay for in the beginning, and you can have a kind of a free pass if you run out of right, and pay for a free pass to get an extra putt if you run out of putts, and maybe you're struggling that day, right? So there's all different kinds of add-ons that you can have as well, that really make a difference. If you have 120, 140 or more golfers, depending on the course you're using, and those add-ons can really make a difference. It's also what happens after the golf outing as well. We have a really nice dinner at Innsbrook, and that dinner is also uh, uh, runs back to back with a silent auction, and so the silent auction is another means. People, there's a lot of small businesses that may not be in a position to be able to be a sponsor, or maybe they've got nobody that works in their business, or the owners of the business don't golf, right? But they can donate a gift certificate or a gift basket of some kind, and to be able to add that to a silent auction and have people bid on it. Um, sometimes people that otherwise, uh, over and above their golfing fees that they've paid that day, to golf, uh, um, aren't as well in a position to make a cash donation on top of those fees, on top of their, um, uh, um, in our case, it's $200 per golfer, for golfing fees. So, but will they bid on something for the silent auction? You bet. You bet they may see a barbecue grill or a vacation package or a gift basket, that they know, by golly, uh, my loved one would really love that basket, and I'm gonna bid on it, right? So those kind of things also kind of bring out the giving in people. We kind of meet them halfway. We offer something, or our donors offer something that we can offer in a silent auction, and they're willing to give more, and every one of those silent auction purchases, just like every one of the golfers, every one of the sponsors, and every little, every little, a putting contest, of a fee that we charge if people want to be in the putting contest. It all adds up, and it all helps support Catholic Charities' great programs to serve Northwest Indiana.